Beef's up for the beef and meat, indeed.
It's the meat event, and I cannot wait for this bantamweight showdown. I think, Meat Boy, that this has some, maybe not next title implications, but 2024, whoever wins this fight is probably getting a shot in the second half of the year. And it's the Donger, Song Yadong, a.k.a. Kung Fu Kid, taking on El Guapo Chris Gutierrez, who is coming in off a very nice win. He smoked Alatonghe Lee, start to finish, unanimous decision, and that was good to see because he rebounded from what I thought was just a very strange fight against Pedro Munoz, where he was essentially I don't know if he was starstruck, but he was frozen, and Pedro did to Chris what Chris usually does to other opponents, where he's chopping down the legs and he's really controlling the action on the feet. Pedro had him kind of mystified, and I'm going to chalk that one up as just a sort of random weird fight because everything else for El Guapo has been easy, light work. The leg calves, I think DC says that Chris Gutierrez has the best calf kick in MMA, so that's obviously high praise considering Gaethje and all the others out there. So if Gutierrez is going to have some success, perhaps he's going to be breaking down Yadong, but Song Yadong is 8-2-1 in the UFC, and he's just been on an absolute tear as well. He did have that close fight against Corey Sandhagen where he ended up getting finished, but if you remember, that fight was pretty back and forth. Corey, in the end, was able to outlast him and get that finish, but I thought that was probably a pivotal moment and a good learning opportunity for Song Yadong because how he returned against Ricky Simón just a couple months later was performance of the night earning and pretty spectacular because he made that look very easy, and I picked Ricky in that one. I thought Ricky was going to be able to control with his wrestling, but Song Yadong was having his way whatever he wanted to do with Ricky Simón. So if he did that to Ricky, might he do that to Gutierrez? And what are your thoughts on this main event overall?
Yeah, I think this is a spicy main event. Definitely main event for the sweaties. This is gonna be a great fight. I mean, man, I could see this going either way. I could see Dong just full Super Saiyan leveled up and mauls. I mean,
Dong
maybe gets a bunch of takedowns, ground and pound. Crap, maybe even a submission. But I also could see Chris making a comeback where, you know, his striking is on point and he just shows that he is the better striker to Mr. Songer. So I think Song's really going to use his wrestling and mix-ups to win this fight. I worry that Chris does rip those calf kicks early and prevents Song from moving as fast as he is. Because, man, if you ever watch him, he's got to be one of the fastest moving fighters in the first round, I would say. And then second and third, he starts to slow down a bunch. But I like Chris in this. I like that he's this big of a dog. I think he still is the El Guapo. So I got to ride El Guapo by decision.
Yeah, very interesting. And if this does go 5 rounds, then that would be something that we haven't seen from El Guapo. So El Guapo's been fighting in 3-round contests. I think he's only been on one main card. So 5-round fight, main event. I gotta imagine there's gonna be probably plus 800, plus 900 for Gutierrez by decision, which to me is an interesting call for sure, Meat Boy. And if you think it's gonna play out that way, do you envision it being a sort of mixed bag of true mixed martial arts where they're going to be grappling some, they're going to be striking some, and it's just going to be a drag them out slobber knocker from start to finish? Like, if it's going 5 rounds, how does the fight play out?
Yeah, you know, I think this is going to be a drag 'em out slobber knocker. Both these guys are very tough, and I could see this just going the distance either way. It's either a KO or distance. Like, I don't see a submission, but that would be crazy to see Donger submit him if he does do heavy grappling in this. But yeah, I just don't know what Song's game plan is. If he stands and bangs, I think it's going to be a very close fight. So you just got to ride with Chris on this one for the odds being this juicy. But I just like Chris in general. I think he's got some fuel in his fire, a lot to prove. And I think he might outstrike this guy.
Yeah, El Guapo's sick. Definitely a fan favorite. You like what that dude is doing inside and outside of the cage for sure. And you mentioned the odds, right? Plus 300 for Chris Gutierrez, minus 380 for Song Yadong. So plenty of love coming in for the Donger. They saw that performance against Ricky Simón and think that he might do the same against Gutierrez. And this one, people, I'm probably rooting for El Guapo. I like the guy, but I also like Song too. And for me, that fight against Ricky Simón, I don't know. I just thought that Song Yadong was on kind of a different level, and I rep Gutierrez. I think he's sick, but in this one, I just see Song Yadong maybe being a little bit too well-rounded for Gutierrez, and I keep thinking about that Pedro Munoz fight where he just I've never seen him look so not clueless or inept because he's obviously an elite striker, but it was just a strange fight. So if that happens against Pedro Munoz, I can see it happening against Song Yadong. So I'm going to take the Donger. I like your idea, though, of this going 5 rounds and this fight being a close drag-him-out slobber knocker, because it would too surprise me if anyone won by submission. And I think both these guys are coming in here trying not to get slept, if that makes sense, because both these guys have a lot to prove, a lot on the line. So drag them out across 5 rounds is a good call, I think. I'm just taking the Donger on the other side. Any last thoughts?
No, it's a fun fight, great fight nonetheless. Don't in the comments if you taking why the Dongers or El Guapo.